Hey guys, it's Mike, the head of marketing at Heartbeat, and in this weekly update, I want to tell you about the exciting beta rollout that you can join for the new ticketing features coming to events. I also want to talk to you about all the ways you can generate leads for your community using the Heartbeat infrastructure. And I'm also going to go over all the different flexible options when it comes to building the offer that you want those leads to buy. And lastly, we have an amazing tutorial coming up next week that you're going to want to hear about if you're a busy community builder and you thought maybe could I use AI and still be authentic to myself? Tip, you can. So let's get right into it. Okay, so up first, if you've been watching these updates and you've been to our town hall, you see all the teasing that we've been doing about the amazingly powerful update coming to events. If you haven't, the long story short is that we are bringing flexible, advanced customization options to events when it comes to ticketing. Think about being able to have different access groups, pay different amounts, have different head count limits, different numbers of tickets that they can buy, and all this wraps up into offers and bundles that you can put into the things that you're selling to members, new and old. We're also excited because it gives you flexibility around hosting. You can have dedicated co-hosts, hosts other than yourself. A whole lot of flexibility is coming to this. So if you want in and you want to get into the beta test to start running this as early as possible, please fill out the form that I'm going to connect to this email and this video. We do need to have you opt in. As per usual, beta tests mean that there could be a little bit of something that we get feedback from you on that we need to tweak or fix, but this is well past the alpha phase. We know the code functionally works. This is about us getting into the hands of real use cases to flesh out any fringe stuff around the edges. If you'd like to get in on this, fill out that form. Our product team will be in touch with you about unlocking this upgrade just a little bit sooner than everybody else. Why I'm so excited about the events is because events can be a great lead generating motion for your community. I thought I'd talk a little bit about that because I get to be a marketer and nerd out with you. I'm also a community builder, and I also know that getting members to join can be sometimes either the scariest or maybe the least tactile thing. It's hard to kind of get your arms around it a little bit. And so I wanted to talk about all the great ways we make it possible to attract new members to your community. Now, a lead can be kind of an abstract word. It depends on the type of model that you're selling. If your community is paid only, a lead is someone that you can offer the purchase to. If your community is a freemium model, a free member might be a lead that then eventually nurtures into the paid model. So I want to talk about all the ways that you can do lead generation using Heartbeat today. What we are offering with this new beta is actually an expansion of ways that you can generate leads through events. I used event-based lead generation for my community, the gym, for solopreneurs and online entrepreneurs. I have open events that I do, and these open events are open to non-members to get a vibe check on what we do, to get a sense of the types of coaching and training and skill building that we have inside the gym. Oftentimes, open events are really great opportunities for you to layer on something called co-marketing. Now, you can run an event as you, and you have authority, and you have value, and you have worth, and people will want to come and see you. But if you and a guest partnered up, guests who have, if you drew a Venn diagram, a nice overlap of your two audiences, but not direct competitors to one another, what you'll do is you'll bring a much larger group together, and they will find value in each of what you do. These events are really, really powerful. You can offer at the end of these events, when they're feeling that kind of high of all the value you just delivered, and they're most open to suggesting to purchase something. And it could be a lower ticket offer. It could be a discovery call to talk about a high ticket membership. It could be a free sign up if you're a freemium member. It can just be a paid event because some events might be paid and some might be free. There's a variety of next steps that you can do. But anyone who RSVPs for an open event, you will acquire their contact information. They will have to put in an email to get that event on their calendar. And even if you don't get them to show up, you have grown your list, your ability to email. And in Heartbeat, you have the ability coming up to blast all of those members in that list. So event attendees and all of that, you can send out the ability to message them natively through Heartbeat. If you don't do that today, as what I usually do, because again, I'm a marketer and I'm a bit of a tech nerd, is I put people into a CRM and I use them. That tool is the ability to send out different messaging. But just the ability to reach folks after, whether they've come to an event or not, means you've grown the list. You've been able to increase your ability to reach people on the schedule that you want to reach them. And of course, yes, they can unsubscribe. But if you have high value touch points, you can have a high likelihood of turning that lead into a member. Outside of events, leads can be people who are doing a free trial. Now, this can be a free trial that then locks them out of a paid community, or it could be a freemium model where it's a trial of a paid tier and they fall down into the free tier. Both of these work really well, and they work kind of similarly in that people are having the experience of a community give them the initial magnet to want to come into your world and your little online ecosystem. And when they're trying something, they're considering the purchase. And that's the important thing to consider in kind of where their head's at. That experience of that trial is so important. It's not just onboarding. It's not just email. It's not just the things they see when they come in. It's the net effect of all of it. And that experience is what will move them through from just being aware and kind of thinking about what your solution is to making a decision about whether they want to join and pay. One of the most important factors for a lead in a trial is to see themselves in other people in the community. And that could be pop-ups that present social proof, little video stories. It can be the interactions with other members. And so that's where incentivizing different champions in your community to take advantage of welcoming new members, giving them a new member badge so people can see them. There's a variety of things you can do for these folks to make them feel like they belong right away. And then when that trial lapses, if they haven't upgraded before the end of that trial, they will have a little bit of FOMO, that fear of missing out. They're either locked out fully, if that's the way you've set your offer, or they're now down into a free tier, which probably has restricted access compared to what they enjoyed during the trial. And that FOMO is not meant to manipulate, but it's meant for them to compare. They compare what they had versus what they have now. And if what they had was really valuable, now when they look at the price, the sticker price that you're offering for your membership, they start to see, oh, now I understand why it's $40, $20, $150, whatever your price is. And they understand that value if the experience was strong enough. So lead gen, whether through events or through free trials, are both things natively supported through the structures of offers in Heartbeat. Now, speaking of offers in Heartbeat, there are so many flexible ways to create offers. And sometimes we come to a platform with kind of a queued up idea of what we want. And sometimes we don't. Sometimes we go to a platform where we're like, all right, what can I make? I know what I can kind of offer the world, but how do I package that into something using this tool that I want to use? I thought I'd just give you a quick run through of a Help Doc article. You can go into this in your own time from our Help Center on how to create an offer. Now, if I pull it up, there are fundamentally the basic of the how-to here. You can walk through some of these steps, but I wanted to hit a couple of key points together with you. And, you know, when you go into the offers setting, you can see on the sidebar and you can click Create Offer. You're going to go through a variety of different types: a paid membership, the freemium membership, a digital product. I've touched on these in another one of these newsletters recently, but it's in the settings where you really start to define how that value is wrapped up and delivered to your members. Fundamentally, when you build a product, there's what the value of it, which is like the actual substance of the product, the placement of that value, like where in the experience do they get it? Is it through subscription? Is it through a one-time transaction? There's the price of the offer, and there's how you promote it, the hype that you put behind it. All of those settings, all those marketing theory elements are actually wrapped up in some pretty straightforward settings here. So as you go through building your offer, you're going to name it. You're going to put some content to it. That's a little bit of the promotion and the hype. Sometimes what you name the offer is very important because it's the first impression that they understand about what it is they're supposed to be buying. And then you also will set the price. This can be subscription-based, one-time transaction. You can have multiple pricing. What I recommend on pricing is that you think about different ways to position your pricing to make it more palatable, more understandable where the value is. Ideally, if they've gotten to this point, they've already either done the lead thing, they've gotten experience, or they've done an event and they really are vibing with what you are and what you offer. So you want to make sure that they're not immediately turned off by defensive thinking around numbers. Usually, you can have a single flat rate price, and that's oftentimes enough. Sometimes giving people options is helpful so they can compare. People then anchor themselves between two different price points. You can say it's $25 a month or $250 a year. Just for those who didn't do the math quick in their head, generally, if you're going to do a month and a year price, the year price is 10 times the monthly price. That gives them a slight discount baked in if they commit for a year up front. The less often they have to renew, the less likely they are to churn, because every time they get the chance to think about canceling is a risk that they will. Obviously, some people sample things on a month-to-month basis. I think I'm still on a monthly plan for Netflix, but there's a value to moving people from monthly to annual over time. And the reason why those two prices are different is sometimes even putting a big price next to a small price, people will think $25 a month is cheaper, even though they have to spend more out of pocket if they stay there the whole year. If it feels cheaper, they'll feel less defensive about trying something new. Just something to think about. I want to note, if you include a free tier in your memberships, the default behavior is that they will drop out of the paid tier into the free tier when they stop making payments. Or if you do a free trial of the paid tier, that's what they'll drop into. They'll drop down to the free tier. I do this in my community. I find it really effective. I don't let people join at the free tier because that creates a segregated community of free people who do one experience and paid people who do another. The goal with a free trial, if you're doing the paid tier, free tier option, is sample the paid, and then they fall out of it. They get a little bit of FOMO. They want to pay to come back in because they've experienced the value that you're offering. You can also choose to charge members after a fixed number of days. You can require payment info up front if you want the trial to auto bill at the end of the trial. That is how Netflix does things, by the way. You put in your card info to activate the trial, and then if you don't cancel, the understanding is that you will be billed. Communicated up front, there's usually no hard feelings about this. Some people don't like that, though, and you can choose to go it the other way around. We do also have a name your price option. And in the customization options, this is where you get a little bit of control over how this presents and where the value comes out. You can choose to have things that are in community upsells. Let's say you're building a set of docs in your resource library that you want upsold to everybody who doesn't have that. You can turn that on, and then in the feed experience, it'll populate periodically. And if they try to navigate to that doc, there'll be an actual upsell button that they can click on, and it'll take them, again, to checkout. This is all built in, so you don't have to think about delivering reminders to purchase, or else the offer just stays hidden. In the Heartbeat way, the offers are constantly visible, and tastefully so, right where they need to be, based on engagement and history of interaction. And community upsells are one of my favorite things. We also can set limits when we build offers. So you can choose how many of something. Let's say you have a paid event. This is the beginnings of, this was the kind of inspiration for the ticketing option that we're upgrading to. But you can choose how many people buy a certain thing. Let's say you only want 10 people in a cohort for a membership. This limit quantity makes sense there. If you only want to sell so many people to an event, that makes sense. If you only want 10 people to have access to a certain piece of content, and then they have to go to a different piece of content, you can do that. You can also set expiration dates. Let's say there's some timely nature to the stuff that you're sharing. Let's say this offer is good until X or Y date. It'll automatically expire at that time. And you can include social proof. Remember I said the most important thing you can do is so members see themselves in the community or in the offer? Social proof is a great way to do that. They see not just a person who might look like them or be described as like them, but had an experience that they wish themselves to have. And the social proof toggle, when you turn it on, allows you to have anywhere from 6 to 12 avatars, like actual people from your community. You should ask for permission, just as a side note. But this social proof will let potential customers see themselves in these offers and really understand what could be when they choose to take part in that offer. And then there's, of course, the post-purchase settings where do they get redirected to somewhere like a thank you page, or do they, when the access ends, what is their experience like? All of these different experiences allow you to customize how you build your offers in Heartbeat so that when you bring your offer to the market, it's oftentimes not a lack of your value or your authority or your vision of what you're trying to create. It might just be finding a new way to package it is the key to unlocking success in the marketplace. Speaking of bringing your value to your community, if you're a busy community builder, and I don't know a single one who isn't, you're going to want to check out this amazing event we have coming up in the Hearth next week. We're bringing back Elijah Drown. He's one of our preferred partners, and he's part of Your Podcast Sidekick, a fractional creative director who helps people create content for their businesses. And this session is for you if you want your community to go from crickets to connection. And how do you use and play with authentically AI to create content in a way that doesn't sacrifice your voice or what you want the vibe in your community to be? So if you're for a first-time community builder, maybe a scrappy team, maybe you have a little bit of a marketing vibe like I do, but you really want to understand how to deepen member engagement and fuel growth without burning out on creating all of this content, this session's one you're going to want to attend, right? You're going to learn how to use AI to turn everyday member input into engaging posts and thoughtful emails and conversation-sparking threads, and you're going to keep your brand voice intact, your self intact. You don't have to lose that when you use an AI tool. You just need to leverage it in the right way as a companion, not a replacement for your creativity. That's what we're going over in this session. Elijah's going to cover that for us. He's a creative content strategist and a podcast expert, knows his stuff, does a lot of fractional marketing work for a lot of different brands out there very successfully. Very excited to have him coming back. If you missed his last one, we did an amazing session on creativity using kind of this Dungeons & Dragons foil. In this case, we're not going quite into the fantasy realm, but we are going to be very tactical with the AI and how you can use it to create content in your business, in your community business. So this is coming up. It is Wednesday, July 23rd. It is at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. RSVP in the Hearth. You're going to be able to join us for our live session in the studio audience. You can chat. You can voice your questions on stage. We do live stream these out, but definitely best to join us for the session in the audience so that you can get your questions answered live when Elijah is there to help you. Definitely worth checking out. I'll be there, and I hope you guys are there too. Okay, and that is everything I wanted to bring you guys in this weekly update from Heartbeat. As always, I'm Mike, the head of marketing, and I will see you guys next time.